Ever get that feeling? You know that little shiver down your spine when you think, wait, was that the evil eye? It's probably nothing, right? But then again,
It's funny how that works, isn't it? Like, we live in this modern world, but those ancient fears, they still kind of stick around.
totally. And that's what we're diving into today, those ancient anxieties and how they connect to these objects, these amulets and talismans.
It's like holding a piece of history, you know? Each one's got a story about how people tried to tap into something bigger than themselves.
It's like we're hardwired for this stuff. Speaking of which, we've got a stack of books and articles here. One thing that pops up over and over, fear. Big surprise there.
Right. The complete book of Amulets and Talismans, it actually talks about this. Imagine that feeling of being born, leaving the safety of the womb. That's how the author describes it.
Wow, when you put it like that, it makes sense, doesn't it? Early humans, they were up against it, the elements, predators. No wonder they looked for any kind of edge.
Exactly. And we see that in the archaeology. Ancient Sumeria, around 3000 BC, they were terrified of the evil eye. Even had a phrase for it, I-G-U-I, evil.
Eye evil, that's kind of catchy, but also scary. What did they do about it?
Amulets.
Yeah.
Of course, they'd wear these little eye images like they were staring back at the threat.
I love that, confronting that fear head on. But it wasn't just the evil eye, right? Think about those Babylonian myths. Talk about scary stuff.
But absolutely. Their myths were full of these terrifying demons. Take Lamashtu, for instance, preyed on mothers and babies. Imagine that fear.
Oh, I remember reading about her. Terrifying stuff. Especially back then when infant mortality was so high. I can only imagine how important those amulets must have felt.
Absolutely. They provided hope, a connection to the divine, a way to feel even a little bit in control.
It's like these amulets were a way to hold on to hope, you know? Like a
Right.
lifeline in a world that felt unpredictable.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about warding off the bad stuff. There were amulets for good luck, prosperity, even love.
Oh, totally. Like, wasn't there that Babylonian myth about the Tablet of Destinies?
You got it. It belonged to the goddess Tiamat.
That story always stuck with me, so powerful. It's like whoever had that tablet, they controlled fate itself.
Exactly. It shows you how important these beliefs were to them, how they connected those beliefs to their deepest desires.
It's kind of like today, right? We may not have tablets controlling fate, but symbols still holds a lot of power. Think about the cross, the Star of David.
Absolutely. Symbols have always been powerful, especially with amulets and talismans.
And get this, the cross, way older than Christianity.
Right. It's amazing. The book talks about all these different cultures that used it. The Greeks, Egyptians, even the Sumerians. Protection, prosperity, long life, they saw it all in the cross.
It's wild how a symbol can evolve like that, takes on new meanings depending on who's using it and when.
Totally. It shows you how important context is when you're trying to understand these things.
Okay, ready for another one? The swastika. Obviously a horrific symbol now, but did you know it was originally a symbol of good luck?
It's a powerful reminder that symbols aren't fixed. They change over time. Their meaning is all about how people use them.
It's almost like symbols are these living things, you know, they change and adapt.
I like that. And that power of symbols. We still see it today.
Right.
People still wear crosses, stars of David, all sorts of religious symbols.
It's that need for connection, right? Something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. We're
Yeah.
drawn to objects that resonate with us, that reflect our values, our hopes.
It's like they become a part of us, you know, a way of communicating who we are without even saying a word. Speaking of objects and meaning, we can't forget about the stuff found in nature. The ancients used it, all stones, plants.
Oh, yeah. The natural world was like this whole other source of power for them. They believed in this energy, this manna that flowed through everything.
Right, and some things, like certain stones, they were thought to have more of that mana than others.
Right, you got it. Amethyst for drinking, bloodstone for seeing the future. Each stone had its own special power.
Like jade. It's always been associated with good fortune and prosperity.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about the stone itself. It was also about the beliefs and traditions that surrounded it. Those beliefs gave the stone its power.
Okay, so we've got amulets, objects found in nature, imbued with this inherent power. But then there are talismans. Right, those are different.
Exactly. Talismans, they're intentionally crafted. It's like they're imbued with a specific purpose right from the start.
So it's like an amulet is something you find that already has power, and a talisman is something you create and then give power to.
You got it.
So how do you make a talisman? Is it all chanting and incense?
Well, there are rituals involved, but it's more about focus, taking your intention and putting it into the object. The book talks about using magical squares, Hebrew letters, even planetary alignments. It's pretty intricate stuff.
It's like taking all your hopes and dreams and channeling them into this physical form. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. It makes you think about the power of belief and how much of what we believe is shaped by the objects around us.
Totally. What do you think are some objects in our lives that might be considered talismans? Like, what do we have that holds that kind of power?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's different for everyone,
Yeah.
right? But it's those objects that hold a special meaning for us, something that connects us to something bigger than ourselves, whether it's a memory, a belief, or even just a feeling.
It's like that pocket watch you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It's not about the watch itself, it's about what it represents. It's a reminder of your grandfather, his stories, his spirit. It's a way of keeping him alive, even though he's gone.
It's funny how these objects can hold so much meaning, you know? They're like little pieces of us scattered throughout the world.
I think that's what makes them so fascinating. They're like windows into our souls.
It's like, in a way, everything has the potential to become a talisman, you know? It's all about what we pour into it.
Exactly. And imagine thousands of years from now, archaeologists digging up our stuff. What are they going to think about us?
Right. Like, wow, these people, they sure love their smartphones.
They're everywhere. Must have been some kind of sacred object.
I can just imagine the museum exhibit. The smartphone, portal to the digital beyond.
It makes you wonder, though, what will they be able to tell about our beliefs just by looking at our stuff?
It's like, will they see our technology as this generation's talismans? Like these little devices that we pour all our hopes and fears into?
It's definitely possible. I mean, we rely on them for everything, communication, information, entertainment. They're like extensions of ourselves.
Totally. We take them everywhere, sleep with them next to our beds. Future archaeologists are going to have a field day with this.
And, that connection we have with our devices, it really speaks to that same human need that drove the creation of amulets and talismans throughout history. That desire for connection, for meaning, for some kind of control in a world that often feels chaotic.
It's like deep down, we haven't really changed that much, have we?
I don't think so. I think we're still searching for those same things.
Yeah.
Hope, protection, a sense of belonging. And whether we find it in an ancient amulet or a modern smartphone, it's that search that makes us human.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Well, folks, there you have it. Another deep dive into the fascinating world of, well, us. It makes you think, doesn't it? What will our legacy be? What objects will tell our story? Something to ponder, right? Until next time, keep exploring, and who knows? You might just find yourself face to face with the future of belief.